Bites, he must have been screaming. He must have been crying. He must have been scared.
As a San Antonio mother undressed her toddler for his bath, she became hysterical when she discovered these. Look at this. Human bite marks all over her son's back. Some spots had broken skin, and she believes these injuries happened at daycare. Well, the next day, her family called KENS 5 to share their story. They sat down with reporter Elisa Nieves, who looks into the history of this East Side child care facility.
March 1st, around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Francisco Rivas walked into Eman Todd Academy off South W.W. White to pick up his son Noah. As they were walking out, Francisco said he noticed weird marks on Noah's arms.
He was wearing a short sleeve shirt. The bites were very, very visible. They were red, red, puffy, and his dad questioned, are those bites? And the lady that brought him out was like, oh my God, those are bites.
The family says the employee went back into the main area of the daycare where parents are not allowed and returned a couple of minutes later.
And said, we don't have an incident report. We don't know what happened. The teacher that was watching him left early. We were short staffed. We could give you the incident report in the morning. And he was just like, well, y'all don't have it right now. And she was just like, no, because we can't fill it out ourselves. It has to be the teacher that was watching him.
Noah's mom, Victoria Delgado, said Francisco didn't want to make a scene, so he brought Noah home to wash the wounds and apply some ice. Later that night, Victoria sat Noah on the bathroom counter.
I took off his shirt, and good thing the mirror was behind him, so when I was pulling up his shirt, I saw in the reflection the 6 bites on his back.
State policy requires a child care facility to file an incident report whenever a child is injured. Parents must also be notified of less serious injuries, such as bites, as soon as they pick up their child.
Them changing him, feeding him, they didn't see those visible bites all day, and they didn't call us and ask, hey, did your son have bites?
Victoria says she immediately called the daycare.
From the director of the daycare, she was apologizing. She said she didn't know what happened. She wasn't there on the premises, and that she would, watch the video and try to figure out, what happened.
Victoria took Noah to the emergency room where a doctor prescribed him a week's worth of antibiotics.
The doctor did say that they are child bites.
She filed a report with SAPD at the Children's Hospital of San Antonio. In a preliminary report, police say they were called there by a mother who said when she picked up her 2-year-old son from a local daycare, she observed that her son had multiple bite marks on his body. Victoria also called CPS to report the daycare.
And he can't talk. He's only a year old. I can't ask him, who hurt you,
The family said the daycare director promised to reach out again the following day. They say they're still waiting for that call.
We had put him in there previously. It took a break because we couldn't afford it. And then I started school. CCS helped me out, and which is why I put him in daycare. I didn't even want to put him in daycare. But I didn't have anyone else to watch him.
How are you doing?
March 2nd, Noah's grandfather recorded this conversation at the daycare.
1 bite or 2, but 8, that's neglect and abuse.
The person he's talking to, he says, is an employee of Eman Todd Academy.
There was something that we seen on the cameras. We even had our state person that just left from here to review, and there was nothing seen on it.
For Texas facilities licensed to care for 13 or more children, there are ratio rules daycares must follow. This chart from the minimum standards for child care centers shows the mandatory ratio depends on the child's age. Noah, for example, falls under the 18 to 23 months category, meaning his group can only have up to 9 children per caregiver.
Yes, it's usually 2 people in the classroom, and it doesn't have to be because it's only 1 to 11. And yesterday, I believe it was only 10 children. And so it was 1 teacher in there instead of 2.
We went to the daycare too. I'm a reporter with Channel 5, and I'm here about Mr. Noah Rivas. The family said that he got these bite marks here, and I was wondering if I might be able to talk with someone.
No, we're not able to talk right now.
Friday, Victoria met with the Texas Department of Family Protective Services and CPS. We did some digging on the Texas Health and Human Services website and found since they opened in 2016, technology innovative for today's youth, doing business as Eman Todd Academy, doesn't show a history of serious problems or infractions. compared to the other 148 licensed child care centers in Bexar County that accept subsidies and opened in 2016 or later. The number of deficiencies at Eman Todd Academy lands about average. The most serious incidents involved the discovery of an infant in a crib with a stuffed toy and the daycare not releasing a child to a parent because of a custody dispute. HHS said the issues were resolved. Victoria called the city's child care services to get Noah an emergency transfer to another daycare.
Obviously, it shouldn't have happened, but I would hate for it to happen to someone else's child.
Right now, we're in talks with CPS to see if there's any investigation going on that's involving this daycare. In the meantime, if any parent out there feels that their child's injury happened on site at a daycare, they should immediately call the Texas Department of Family Protective Services to file a report of suspected abuse of a child. That number is 1-800-252-5400.